If I could call the Board of Commissioners meeting for May 24th, 2016 to order. I'd like all of us to rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and then followed by David Elwell with the invocation.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for allowing us to gather here in your presence tonight. We ask that you guide us tonight as we deliberate issues for our county and for our residents. Please watch over those protecting our freedom and country, both home and abroad, including our military, police, and firefighters. In Jesus' name, amen.
Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Commissioner Leitner? Here. Commissioner Walls?
Here.
Commissioner Rice?
Present.
Commissioner Duckham?
Present.
Commissioner Alexander?
Present.
Commissioner Mahoney?
Here.
Commissioner Placzek?
Here.
Commissioner Elwell?
Here.
Chairman Shotwell?
Here.
All present.
Thank you. Entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Support.
Any additions or deletions? Seeing or hearing none, all in favor of the agenda as presented. Say aye. Those opposed, duly carried. We have no awards and recognition. Communications, petitions, Village of Concord 5-year Parks and Rec Plan. Is it not a public comment period? Okay,
No.
certainly.
Basically what that is.
Does it automatically get forwarded to our planning commission to be tied? Parks and Rec Plan? Master Parks and Rec Plan? I have you off.
Yeah.
Okay. I need a motion to receive and file. We have a motion and support. Any comments or questions to the motion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Duly carried. Does the public have any petitions or correspondence to bring forward to the Board of Commissioners? Please present it to the clerk. Seeing nor hearing none, special orders and public hearings, we have none. We've arrived at the first opportunity for public comment. Is there anyone that would like to address the board under public comment? You have 5 minutes. Please state your name. You may only address the board once under this, and you may not relinquish your minutes, and the Board of Commissioners will not debate.
Okay. My name is Robert Comet. I'm a pharmacist in the Jackson area. I own all the Welcome Pharmacies here. I've decided that I am running for the 65th District State Representative on the Republican side, and I'd just like to introduce myself to everybody here. I've been in the area for basically most of my life, other than when I was at Fair State University for years. Thank you. Any questions?
Robert Sotheby, 306 Sycamore Street, Leone Township. I was thankful to see Rob comment, just to expound on his comments that he just made. He is a Jackson County resident, 57 years and counting. He does own the Welcome Pharmacies, as he pointed out. Very modest person, doesn't talk a lot about himself, obviously. So I'll take the time to take some words and explain what I know about Mr. Comet and the good work he's done in our community over the decades in helping thousands of people through his pharmacy and his health food endeavors. Mr. Comet is a civic-minded person. He's obviously, he had the blessing to also meet some other of the commissioners at Jerry Jarzinka's fundraiser on Tuesday with Commissioner Rice, Commissioner Alexander, and Commissioner Shotwell. He's a Jackson County person that'll put Jackson County first. It's my opinion that Jackson County on the east side of the county hasn't had direct representation all that much. And that's referenced by not listening to the will of the people, whether it be a road tax that 82% of us thought was a bad idea, and our representative in the 65th district chose to vote yes anyway, in spite of the will of the people. I think the whole point of elected positions, including this commission, is to listen to the will of the people. And 82% is certainly speaking very clearly. And when you ignore 82% of your constituents, maybe we need a new person in office. And I think Robert Comet would be an excellent choice for Jackson County in particular, as well as the rest of the 65th district. That said, he's also got the blessings of two of the sitting commissioners here, which I think is a pretty strong milestone in Commissioners Rice and Duckham, supporting a candidate who stands for beliefs and opinions that they share as well. So I just wanted to point that out. So if there's other questions, you can reach Rob Comet or myself or anybody else. I'll be happily campaigning to help get the word about Rob and get the second and third and 10th layer off the onion so people can know all there is to know about Rob and the good work he's done in our county. On a sidebar, I'm also running for Township Trustee in Leone. There's two people in this room that are running in the minority. I'm a conservative. I'm not sure on the Republican so much, but conservative. And me and Carl Rice run in Democratic communities. But that's pretty much the epitome of showing how to be collaborative with other people and respecting their opinions and viewpoints. So I'll be supporting Carl Rice also as he runs in a contested primary, which I find pretty sad, quite frankly, because he's done an excellent job, as I think this majority of this board has done a great job in dealing with tough budget issues. Speaking of budget issues, on a sidebar, there's actually an application that I'm going to fill out tomorrow for Adam Brown's old job. And if I was successful, I call it an offer, call it what you will. I call it saving money. So if I was selected, I would like to see half of that money put back into the county sheriff and county prosecutor's budgets. It's hard for you guys finding money as it is, and I know that most employees don't think of the people or county first. It's about preparing for their family. I do have multiple college degrees in the public university, as far as public goes. I was my class representative at Spring Arbor College, my junior and senior years of college. I do have 2 college degrees, both local, a local person. I put local needs first. And again, I'm not trying to sound like a magnanimous person, just somebody that wants to make a difference here locally. So if I did get consideration, I want you to know about that. I want you to know that collaboration is something I firmly believe in. By working with many of the commissioners on this board and other people before they were commissioners and after. My work ethic I'd put up against anybody as far as willing to help the people of Jackson County. So if I do get consideration, I just want to let you know that some of my background, because it might not all come through on an HR application. I was involved in all kinds of extracurricular activities, including writing grants for Hospice Association and getting a program for a bereavement, but of children, not of adults. I also wrote grants for Charitable Union and regularly go over to Battle Creek because Charitable Union, to my knowledge, is the only 100% all the proceeds go to the people and not to administration. So with that, I guess I will look forward to trying to help serve Jackson County. I try to serve Leone County the best of my abilities with the most diligence and utmost impeccable work ethic. I don't give up. I don't just take the first no. If there's something that makes sense, you pursue it. So with that, I appreciate your time and God bless.
Any other public comment? Please, ma'am. Please state your name and if you live in the city or in the townships, please.
Okay. My name is Davita Quinn, and I live in Blackman Township. And I'm here today to speak about the road that's over in Firefox Apartments. My daughter lives over there, and I go to see about her every day. The roads are terrible, and so I asked the front office, I'm like, when are you all going to fix the roads? They said the road do not belong to us. The road belongs to the county. I was like, the county? He said, yeah, we've asked them several times to fix the roads, and they refused to fix this road. And the time that it was fixed very poorly. And that's why the children have to get the bus at the end of the road, because they won't come down the road no more. If they don't have to plow it, they don't have to fix it, the buses don't come down the road. I'm like, that's kind of bad for the county. So at some point in time, I would like to know what's going to happen with that road since it belongs to the county. I would also like to let you all know that I am running for the 9th District County Commissioner seat that's being held by David. I'm a Democratic candidate for that position, and I am going to run for that position. I work for the City of Jackson at the wastewater treatment plant. I am the chemist there, and I'm the environmental compliance officer for the City of Jackson. And I've been living in Blackman Township for 8 years, and I want to work to make the county a better place to live. So, thank you, but I will be looking for some answers about that road and Firefox Apartments. Thank you.
Any other public comment?
Peter Blumwith. I just wanted to say that I'm running for the 64th because some people have come up to me recently and said, I didn't know you were running. So I'm running for the 64th District House seat that's being vacated by Earl Pileski. And I want to point out that Earl and his fellow Republicans are people who put that proposal up for the roads that was rejected by the people by 82%. And I think it's time that we replace these Republicans up in the Michigan House and the Michigan Senate with some good Democrats who will get things done for the people rather than for the corporations. Thank you very much.
Any other public comment? We have no special meetings, standing committees at this time. Entertain a motion for approval of the minutes of the April 19th, 2016 Board of Commissioner meeting. Have a motion and support. Any items for removal or correction? Seeing nor hearing none, all in favor? Those opposed? Duly carried. We've arrived at the consent agenda. Entertain a motion for approval of the consent agenda. Any items for removal and consideration at another time? Seeing nor hearing none, could you post the vote, please?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Passed unanimous.
Thank you. The consent agenda is passed unanimously. Arrived at standing committees. Standing committee agencies and affairs chaired by Commissioner David Elwell. Commissioner Elwell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We have appointments to 2 committees tonight. First up is the Upper Grand River Watershed Council. We have a total of 6 open seats. At the time of committee meetings, we had 5 applicants for those seats. We made 5 recommendations, which were Don Nelson, Julie Schell, Kenneth Price, James Seats, and Jeff Snyder. And if there's no objection, I'd move that those 5 seats be filled with those 5 recommendations.
We have a motion. Is there support for those 5 recommendations? Support. Any other nominations from the floor? Seeing or hearing none, the recommendations of committee are voted on. Please vote yea or nay. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Duly carried. Commissioner Elwell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There is the 6th seat, and I believe there is a commissioner that has a nomination from the floor for that 6th seat.
At this time, I'd like to nominate Glenn Remington.
We have a nomination and support. Any other nominations from the floor? Seeing and hearing none, all in favor? Those opposed? Duly carried. Commissioner Elwell.
Next is the Retirement Board. It's one member. The current member is Chairman James Shotwell, who is also the recommendation of committee.
We have a motion and support. Any nominations from the floor? Seeing nor hearing none, all in favor? Those opposed? Duly carried. Commissioner Elwell?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We have two other committees, Department on Aging Advisory Council and the Traffic Safety Program, which we do not have recommendations for at this time. And that concludes my business. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Standing Committee Human Services, chaired by Julie Alexander. Commissioner Alexander.
Human Services Committee has no business to bring before the board.
Thank you, Julie. Standing Committee Personnel and Finance, chaired by Vice Chairman Phil Duckham. Vice Chairman Duckham.
Mr. Chair, we have no business to conduct tonight at the Personnel and Finance.
Thanks, Phil. Do we have any unfinished business to be brought before the board by commissioners? Seeing nor hearing any, we have new business. At this time, item A under new business is the compensation study. Administrator Controller Michael Overton will explain and answer questions, and I'll entertain a motion to do something with it afterwards, folks. Mr. Overton.
Well, to be clear, I'm not asking for the board to do anything other than accept, receive, and file that. It is a 163-page document. We received it when you did. We will be reviewing it thoroughly as we are in the throes of developing our budgets. Our budgets, 2-year budgets. And you can expect to hear from us probably in a couple months down the road here. I would think anything before August, in all honesty. And then we'll be coming to discuss it more so. But I'll be happy to talk or answer questions if I can. Or
I'd move to accept the compensation study.
We have a motion and support. Are there any questions to the motion or to the Administrator Controller about the document?
Actually, Mr. Chair, it's to receive it, not accept it necessarily. It sounds better, I guess.
Thank you. Receive and file. If you do have questions, I would be more than happy I know Mike would be more than happy to explain it to you or go over them with you, and then he will forward those questions and answers on to the other board members. And if you really want to test Adam, you probably could do something in the next 7 days and really quiz him on it. Seeing nor hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Those opposed? Duly carried. Item 17B, JC. Resolution of Support 2017-2020 Transportation Improvement Program. This is a resolution, and I would so move. We have support. Is there questions? Madam Clerk, could you please post the vote? Thank you. Unanimous?
Sarah?
Passed unanimously. We've arrived, any other new business to come before the board? Seeing nor hearing none, we've arrived at the second opportunity for public comment. Is there any public comment? You have 3 minutes to address the board. You may only address the board once under this public comment, and the opportunity may not be yielded to any other time to others. Board members will not debate nor answer questions at this time.
Robert Sotheby, 306 Sycamore Street, Leone Township. Just briefly, I ran out of time. I want to thank the entire board for the battle that they went through that I think has been lost a little bit, and I got reminded during the Pledge of Allegiance today of standing up for our pledge and standing up for prayer. So I'm very appreciative of the fact that you guys give invocation. We don't see it in all the townships, and it's certainly a blessing that we have to be able to have that opportunity. So that's all I wanted to say, and I want to appreciate that you guys stuck up for a fight that sometimes wasn't always well received. So again, I'll end with God bless.
Any other public comment? Seeing nor hearing none, any commissioner comments? Commissioner Elwell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I thought long and hard about what I see as a need to speak to the SRI, and I had mentioned this, I think, to the administrator and the chair some short time ago. We're coming up again on what I think will be our third bond payment in when, Mike, June or July or August, I think, which is the larger of the payments. We have a large one and an interest only, then a large one again. And it's looking apparent to me that we're probably going to end up having to make that again. And as I looked through this 36-page contract, and I've got some of the other documents that we've all been provided, it just kind of struck me that in a way this SRI is not a whole lot different than a home mortgage or a car loan. And we all know what happens when you quit making the payments on your home or you quit making the payments on your car. They come and take them both from you, and then they sell them for what they can get for them. And if they don't get enough to pay off the loan, you still owe it. And if they end up selling what you have for more than what's owed, you don't get a refund on that. And I think the time has come for the Board of Commissioners to consider the fact that I think it's clear that we own the pipe right now. I think the intent probably was that at the end of the bond payment schedule, assuming all payments were made, that the SRI would be owned by Leone. Is that accurate, do you think, Mike? Or, okay. So I don't think anybody could have a reasonable expectation that they either would now own it or would own it at the end of the term if they're not making the payments. And I think it's time for us to consider declaring that it's ours as it is. We're the ones making the payments on it. And we then give consideration to selling it to the other users of the system and let them make a determination for themselves if they want to buy it and what they want to do with the sewage that flows through it. I don't think we can continue to use county taxpayer dollars to pay for this as they sit it out in the courts. So those are my comments. Thank you.
Any other commissioner comments? Daniel.
Just have a couple questions that I'm going to also be emailing to the administrator, and I don't know who would answer these questions better because it's basically based off of I got an email with some questions that regard budget based around the comment that was made about JNet, and just curious how much we actually contribute or what portion of the budget that the sheriff gets is contributed to JNet, and also curious about a breakdown of the actual arrests that they make revolving around controlled substances. So I'll email those questions to you because I know we won't have answers to them now, but just wanted to mention that I'll be emailing those questions to you, and also that tickets to Nelly are on sale for the Jackson County Fair and Vanilla Ice. Vanilla Ice will be there also. Just wanted to say that before Sarah did.
Any other commissioner comments? Go ahead, John. Then Commissioner Rice.
I just wanted to say that I agree with Commissioner Elwell. I know that we are currently paying Leone or not Leone, but the bond payment that Leone should be paying. And in the meanwhile, as a city commissioner, I know that I'm also paying my water bill. So I feel like I'm being double dipped by paying a water bill for the city and knowing some of the county taxes that I'm putting in the general fund are used to pay for the Leone tax bill or their default on that bill. So, thank you.
Commissioner Rice.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I certainly don't disagree that it's unfortunate that the county is having to pay on this bond. Obviously, we're doing it to maintain our credit rating, and obviously we're being responsible by doing it. On the other hand, this board has over and over again stated that we would let the legal process play out. that too is unfortunate, that the legal process has taken so long. It's unfortunate that we have a judge that just won't stand up and make a concrete decision. So but from my perspective, I don't think this, again, I don't think this legislative body here should be interfering in a judicial process which is not completed yet. And there's been continuous opportunities to potentially settle this, and Leone Township has offered many things to the other townships, and continuously Columbia is the one that tends to not want to play ball. So again, for me, we have said let the judicial process play out, and from my perspective, that's what we need to do. That's my comments.
Any other commissioner comments? I have one. I want to thank the Fair Board for allowing us to use the Gumpert Building again this year for the annual plant sale. It was an overwhelming success. The 9 organizations involved were very happy, and hopefully by utilizing the assets that the county has for different events, we can then make the community aware of the fact that these properties are available to be rented. With that, I'd like to entertain a motion in accordance with MCL 15.268 to go into closed session for a legal opinion to be discussed. I would so move.
Support.
We have a support. Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Commissioner Leitner? Yes. Commissioner Walls?
Yes.
Commissioner Rice? Yes. Commissioner Duckham? Yes. Commissioner Alexander? Yes. Commissioner Mahoney? Commissioner Placzek? Yes. Commissioner Elwell? Yes. Chairman Shotwell?
Yes. The administrator would like us to go up to 6.
Aye.
Those opposed, duly carried. Commissioner Leitner.
I would like to make a motion to accept, or to follow the attorney's recommendation regarding the case from closed session.
Support.
We have a motion and support. Post the vote, please. Oh, my computer's off. Correct. Motion, Alexander supported. Okay. Placzek, thank you.
So,
Yes. Motion carried unanimously. Anything further to come before the board? Entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion and support, all in favor? Those opposed, duly carried.